It's Monday. Welcome to another Mind Shift Monday. And today our topic, because I really have been wanting to get to this topic and I just haven't yet, is I just joined Scentsy. Now what do I do? Okay, so it might sound silly, but we all have been there, myself included. And even if you didn't just join, maybe it's been a minute since you've been working your business, right? We've got a brand new catalog. Maybe you're excited. Maybe people have been asking you about it. And you're like, okay, how do I start to get back into my business? So regardless if you joined today, if you joined yesterday, if you joined 6 months ago, if you joined 6 years ago, it does not matter. You can revamp your business at any time. So this is just kind of a good overview of where to start, how to begin, and what the heck you think you should be doing. Okay, so first things first, checklist. Now, this is something that everybody has access to when you just join. So when you join Scentsy, you will get a welcome email from Scentsy after you click that join button, and it will actually direct you onto your workstation. When you log into your workstation, you're going to see that first things first checklist right then and there. Basically what that's doing is it's really setting you up for success. Hopefully it is answering some of those just off the tip of your tongue kind of questions. How are you getting paid? How do you put in an order? How do you close a party? How do you use the host rewards? Those kinds of things, right? So that first things first checklist is really there just for you, just to get acclimated and to get familiar with the workstation. Now, we have a couple different acronyms that you're going to hear when it comes to your Scentsy business. So workstation. Workstation number one, what the heck does workstation mean? Okay, workstation is quite literally everything that you need for your business. You can access this via mobile, desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever it is that you're on. It is very user-friendly. I will tell you from someone who has been a consultant since 2012, it didn't always used to be that way. So I'm very happy that it is that way now, because it is just seamless all throughout, no matter what device you're on. The workstation is something that you have access to 24/7, 365 days a year, okay? This is where you can find news, you can find training, you're going to enter your party orders. This is where you're going to close out those parties. This is the place, okay? So call it your back office, call it your workstation. I call it the brain of my business because it's quite literally like the heart and soul of my business, right? That's where everything begins and ends. One of the first things that I really like to encourage everybody to do when they are joining, or if it's been a minute in your business, it's okay. No judgment here, okay? You can get into your workstation, click on account, and go down. You can scroll down, and it's going to actually take you to your, here's your next big acronym, PWS. PWS is personalized website. That is your website, okay? When you first join Scentsy, you have access to that for free for the first 90 days or 3 months, however you want to look at it, okay? So you get that for free. After those 90 days, it is a $15 charge to have that website. Depending on where your business budget is, if you're making money in your business, if you've got a little bit of extra money, or if you don't, you may need to kind of, after those first 3 months, just kind of look back and see, okay, where am I at? What am I doing? It's a really good time to just kind of take inventory of your own business, what's happening here. But that website is quite literally, especially if you're going to work this through social media, if you're going to utilize a lot of our LTO sales, our flash sales, things like that, you're going to want a website. Also, you're going to want a website because there's one important thing that you need out of that website, and that is for people to join Scentsy so you are their sponsor. The only way they can do that is through your workstation. So if this is more of a business for you versus a hobby, you want to be able to find a way to make that $15 a month happen, because let me tell you from firsthand experience, the only way I was able to grow my team was with my PWS, was by having a website, okay? I do the majority of my business through social media. I do not have, over the years, I've gotten better at having a local customer base, but it doesn't even compare to what my customer base is outside of my state, okay? I have orders from all over the country, in different countries, in Canada, right? So like I have people who I've never met who are my customers, okay? And they're finding me and they're able to access an order through me because of my website. Now, I work my business, I work my Scentsy as a business. This is my second full-time job, okay? So for me, it is essential for me to have that. If this is a hobby for you, it may not be as essential. So again, it's just something to kind of mull over as you're kind of looking at this opportunity with Scentsy. So there's your next acronym. So you've got the workstation, which is where the heart and soul is, right? You've got your PWS, your personal website. I'm going to throw one more acronym out at you, and I know this sounds like a lot, but PRV. This is one you're going to hear a lot. PRV. PRV is your personal revenue sales. Personal retail sales. Sorry. Personal retail sales. That is basically, that's your sales, right? PRV is your sales. So whenever we talk about PRV, what is your PRV? Where are you at in your PRV? What are your PRV goals, right? That's really what we're talking about, is that sales, okay, that sales number. And now again, depending on if you are a Canadian or if you're in the US or if you're in England, depending on where you're at in what region, it's gonna probably sound a little bit different, right? Because we all use different themes of currency, but that really is how many dollars you're selling, right, every single month. So that's really one of the things that we focus on, is PRV. Again, if you're doing this as a hobby versus a business or to make that side income, then it may not be anything you even want to worry about, okay? And that's okay. I am not going to ever tell somebody how or what to do with this business, with this opportunity. Because I will be the first one to tell you, when I clicked that join button in January of 2012, when I clicked that button, I never in a million years would have told you that I'm going to be working this as a business, or this would be my side hustle or my second income or whatever, right? Like those were not in my vocabulary. It was simply a hobby for me. I wanted nothing more than to just have something that I enjoyed to do on the side, because I was a working mom and I was working nights at the time when I joined. I worked overnight shifts. And so just having those days that were to myself, I just wanted something for me at the end of the day. That's really all I wanted. And so I didn't really care about a whole lot of the business side of the Scentsy opportunity. Obviously things have changed, but I'm just telling you, not everybody is going to feel the same way about this opportunity that you are. So if you're somebody who this is something you want to pour yourself into, and maybe someone joins your team and you can't understand why they don't want to be involved with everything or do all the things that you're doing, it may be because they're just not in it for the same reasons you are. And that is okay. Because just because that's their journey, that's their journey. It has nothing to do with you. It is not a reflection of you, okay? So I know that's probably something for another day, but I'm just letting you know that everybody can treat this completely different. So regardless of how you look at this Scentsy opportunity, it's going to kind of change and shift as we go through things. Speaking of that concept, one of the things that I do when someone first joins my team is I send them, it's actually a JOT form that I utilize. I think you guys know by now I use JOT form for a lot of my things. I love it. It's just a great program. It's just something that I'm very comfortable with. But JOT form, I send them this link to a JOT form, and literally the questions on this JOT form, they're very clear to the point. It's a very short JOT form. It's really just asking them, What do they want out of this Scentsy opportunity? Is it just a hobby? Do they just kind of want to work it when they want to work it? Or is this I want a fast start, right? I want to jump in. I am really eager to learn about this shooting star that you can earn in your first 15 days. And I want to earn the sensational start award that you can earn in your first 70 days, right? Or I want this to be my full-time income. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be able to stay home or with the kids or whatever. And this is what I'm aiming for, right? You're going to have some people who are just gung-ho for that. And that's good. So it's a really great way for me to kind of really just get a good handle on where people are when they're joining. So if you are looking to branch out and start building a team, I would encourage you to kind of either have a conversation, send them a JOT form, send them an email, send them a message on Facebook, however it is that you're going to communicate, right? But just ask that question. How do you want to start? What is this for you? Because here's why it really makes a difference. I don't want to start sitting there, and if I see Shonda's on, if Shonda was just starting and Shonda's like, yeah, I just want to kind of do this at my own pace, Jacqui. And I just start like throwing her videos and sending her links and, hey, here's a training here. And hey, let's have a conference call on Wednesday next week. And blah, I'm just like literally throwing everything at her. She's going to be like, whoa, I know. I'm just here to have some fun. I like Scentsy. I just kind of want to do this, right? It's really going to turn her off at the end of the day, right? Whereas if maybe she wants all of that and I'm not giving her all of that, well, she may be like, hi, I'm over here. Hi, I need some help, right? So it's really good to just kind of gauge your people as they're joining your team. And it's really good to maybe, if your sponsor hasn't had that conversation with you, then to reach out to your sponsor and say, hey, I know it's been a hot minute. Maybe you've stepped away from your business. Maybe you've rejoined. Maybe whatever, life has just happened for a while, right? It's sometimes a really good thing to reach out to your sponsor and just say, hey, I know it's been a minute and maybe we haven't talked in quite a while, but I just want to let you know that I'm ready to kind of do this as a business. I want to start earning more money. Or, hey, I know I've been kind of working this as a business, but I want to take a step back. I'm not quite at that point, or I need a little bit of time, right? It's just really good to have those open lines of communication. And I promise you that your sponsor is not going to judge you. They're not going to be like, oh no. No, trust me. As someone who has sponsored number of people since 2012, right? Again, been doing this for a hot minute, right? I can tell you right here, right now, I would much rather know, so I know what I need to be doing for them to help them, right? If it's very much a hands-off kind of a role that they want, then by all means, I'm not going to bother them. If they are working an insane amount of hours or have multiple other jobs, plus they're doing this Scentsy thing, right? They may not appreciate a whole bunch of texts or emails or messages or whatever. I want to know. So from that sponsoring point of view, it's just good so you know. And as that person, it's good so you let your sponsor know, hey, this is where I'm at. And I promise you that they will be there to meet you, okay? To meet you at where you're at. It is okay. So that's one of the things that I like to just kind of get up front and at the beginning. What do you want to do, right? Again, some of us may already have some really great systems in place for when people join your team. When someone joins my team, I do X, Y, and Z. Or when someone joins, I usually will immediately call them or whatever, right? Whatever it is that you do when someone joins your team. Everybody's going to have those systems. And sometimes the very best of intentions that we all might have in our business, maybe sometimes we kind of forget, or it gets lost in the shuffle, or we get behind, okay? It is okay to reach out to your sponsor if you feel like you have kind of been left behind, okay? Again, I can promise you, I can tell you from my own experience, from others' experience, they're not doing it intentionally. Maybe something's going on with them too. So just know that there is an open line of communication. And when in doubt, if you can't reach your sponsor, you can always reach up, right? So if I'm not your sponsor, maybe I'm your director or your star director. If you want to know who those people are, then all you have to do is log into your workstation. The very first on the dashboard, right then and there, it's going to tell you who your sponsor is, who your director is, who your star director is if you have a star director. Some people don't. And then obviously your superstar director, right? So you can see that. And if you click on their name, it's very easy. They've made it super easy where if you click on their name, you'll instantly get their contact info. So you'll be able to reach out to them that way. So if you feel like you don't have that good connection, reach out, because maybe in the past you have told them that it's not something you want to do full time, but maybe things have changed, or vice versa. Okay. So again, those two ways of communication are really going to help you and really going to help your team members as they join and are working through this business. Another thing, you just joined, so now what? Well, hello, let me tell you all about our amazing resources. We have resources out the wazoo, okay, friends? We've got a lot. So again, logging into your workstation, told you this is the heart and soul of your business, okay? If you log onto your workstation, you will see you have an entire tab. If you click on training, you will have an entire tab of training materials at the ready for you 24/7, 365 days a year. They are there and ready for you. So wherever you are in your business, maybe you want to learn more. Maybe you don't know what a perpetual reward is when you're closing out a party. Okay, it's okay if you don't. It's not a pop quiz at the end of this. Okay, but maybe you want to know what that is. Maybe you want to learn more. I'm going to encourage you to hop on that workstation. You can utilize a search bar in your workstation. Trust me, I use it all the time when maybe I just can't remember or I don't know where to start looking for something. That's what I do. I use that search bar. I instantly start searching for it. It's going to pull me up training articles, training videos, marketing images, or news articles. All the different things, right, are going to start popping up on your screen. So it's going to help you to figure out what it is you're looking for. Another fabulous resource that we have and many other teams have, of course, are a Facebook group. All right, so if I am not your sponsor, maybe you have a sponsor, maybe they have their own Facebook group too, right? So there may be multiple groups that maybe you need or want access to. There may be some groups where you find that they're more helpful than others, and that's okay, right? I will tell you that myself as a star director, as a director / star director, whatever, right? Like I really focus on my team page, but at the same time, and if you're in my lineage, whatever, our superstar director has a great page too that I contribute to with the other leaders. And there's a lot of resources there as well. I don't want my page to be a carbon copy of everything else, right? Because otherwise, what happens? It's very redundant. Nobody wants to see all of the same things in all the places, right? So I kind of will scale back. I make sure to kind of touch on points that are maybe new releases when they're coming, things like that. I like to do shout outs. I like to offer training, show you how I'm working on my business, right? Whereas our Superstar Director page, the Scented Bliss Family page, has some other resources that I'm not doing all the time, because again, I want them to be different resources for you. So if your sponsor, if your director also has those, again, I would encourage you just to make sure you know where they are, because in that way you can determine, again, wherever you're at in your business is where you want to kind of gauge what you're doing, right? Maybe you want more, you need more of this, you need more of that. You can literally pick and choose where you're kind of getting that info from and what just is the best source of income or source of information rather for you in your business. Okay, so that really, really helps. Another thing I personally offer, I have my app. It's just an app that kind of gives you little links to all the different places, so it's really helpful for when you're first starting. Another really great thing is your sponsor and your upline, right? So if you're finding that maybe you've gotten on the workstation, you have gotten on the Facebook groups, but you're just not sure. Either maybe you're not finding what you're looking for, or you still just have major questions, reach out to that sponsor. Trust me, I hope that there is no one out there who'd be like, stop contacting me. Okay, I have a pretty good feeling that they're going to be no problem. If you can't reach them, or you don't have a good line of communication with them, again, that's when you can kind of utilize your upline or those Facebook groups. Don't hesitate to reach out and make a post in that Facebook group. Hey, I need some help, right? I guarantee you people are going to come and help you. So that's what it's there for. Let's see here. So those are your main resources that I would kind of encourage you to look out for. You just started, so now what should you do? Well, I'm going to also tell you, shout it out. Okay. Shout it out. Go to your social media, share that you've joined Scentsy, that you're really excited to be on this new adventure. If it's a hobby, if it's a side hustle, if it's hopefully going to be your full-time job someday, right? Whatever it is, share that out there on social media. Social media is just a wonderful place in this day and age where we are in 2024, okay? I can't tell you how many times I open up TikTok and I see people pimping products right in my face, right? Okay, so we're seeing it everywhere. It's not just Scentsy. It's just not all direct sales, okay? It's people pimping for TikTok too. And Temu, however you pronounce it. I don't even know. I kind of learned a little bit on the Super Bowl. Whatever, right? So Temu, you're going to see all kinds of different people pimping a lot of different things. They just are, because we are becoming, whether you agree with it or not, as a cultural society, we're becoming an affiliated society, right? We're sharing Amazon links, we're sharing links on TikTok, we're doing all of these things. And while people may boo-hoo at direct sales, let me just tell you right now, okay? All that's still going to be here tomorrow. Those sales on TikTok aren't going to be there forever, right? It's going to change to new things. It's going to be something different. TikTok may decide in a year to change their whole platform. Who the heck knows, right? We don't know. But what I can tell you is that Scentsy is going to be here, okay? And it's just a wonderful way for us to be able to supplement our lives, income, our families, and all the things, okay? So don't be afraid. Don't let that stigma of direct sales kind of hold you back from doing that. Because let me tell you, like I said, they're seeing it everywhere else. So why not see it from somebody they know from Facebook or Instagram or whatever, right? Let's just do it. Another really great way to shout it out is in person, right? So for me personally, I also work outside the home. Okay, I work in a hospital. I will tell you that I have lots of people who buy from me that work at my hospital. And why is that? Well, because they already know, right? When they come into the operating room at the front desk, I've got a little mini fan diffuser sitting there. One of the things that people will say was, as soon as they walk in the operating room, they'll walk in and they'll walk up to the front desk. They'll be like, oh, it smells so good. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me that's making it smell good, right? Like, I'm proud. Okay, I put the hand soap in the bathroom. Like, all the things are happening. I've got the hand creams all out on my desk. All those things are happening. So there's ways to do things in person. There's also events, there's fundraisers, there's all kinds of ways that you can get in front of people, okay, if that's how you want to do your business. Or it's just another really great way to supplement your business. If it's like mine, like mainly social media, another great way is to kind of supplement it with those in-person opportunities. So look for those opportunities where you can find them. Another one, this is going to sound really silly, but it's word of mouth. And it's so true though, right? Word of mouth. So if you are shouting it out on social media, maybe you're having a conversation with your spouse, your BFF, the people you used to work with, whatever, right? And saying, hey, I just decided that I was going to try the Scentsy thing. It's going to be something that I'm just kind of trying to get some extra income in right now, or I'm working to do bigger things with this. I would love it if you would just maybe reach out. Would you mind reaching out to your people or your friends or at your work? If I gave you some testers and some books, would you take them in? I just really want to get my name out there. That is a wonderful place to start. And I'm not going to lie, I started there when I first started really looking at my Scentsy opportunity as working it like this is going to be my side hustle, okay? I really started pushing pouch parties, whatever you want to call them, pouch parties, envelope parties, bag parties, whatever. I don't know. For me, I've just always called them pouch parties, right? And it's literally like sometimes they were Ziploc bags, sometimes they were fancy little envelopes off of Amazon, but they had the same ingredients, right? They had catalogs, they had some testers, they had some order forms, they had my business card, they had some samples, and I would just literally push them out to everybody and say, here, take these. When you go to church, take it with you. When you go to your work, take it with you, right? And that's really how I started to build my business. So it's a wonderful way to just kind of utilize your friends and family. We're not necessarily asking them to fund your business all the time, right? But hey, take this and share it with the people that you know, because you know different people than I do, right? There's a whole nother circle of people out there that you just don't know. What to do next? Well, another really great thing to do when you're joining Scentsy or getting back into your business is to join in on all the fun. So regardless of where you're at, of course, here on every Monday, I do a training live. This goes on my YouTube channel as well. Another really great thing that we have is the end of month live. So at usually the last day of the month, depending on if it's a holiday, whatever. The last day of the month, Scentsy will go live on Dan Orchard's public page on Facebook, and he will do the end of month live. So we get to see like what's coming up, what's going to be happening in the upcoming month, all of those really great things. That's a really great way to join in and just kind of be in the know. Even if this is a hobby for you, I will encourage you to jump on or watch the replay of that end of month live, because you're going to know or have an idea of what's happening in the upcoming month. And again, even if it's just a hobby, then that's good, because at least you know what's going on. It's kind of good to have your toe in the water, so to speak, just so you have an idea. Because once people start to understand that you are a Scentsy consultant, I promise you, even if you're not shouting it out, wearing branded shirts or whatever, people, if they know that you are with Scentsy, I guarantee you at some point they're going to ask you about it. Or they're going to say, hey, I saw this and I wanted to know, when is this available? You're going to want to know and have an idea of what's happening in your business or what is actually available, right, during your business. So it's just a really great thing. Another thing that you can do, and I'm somebody who works outside the home, right? I work during the week, so I can't watch them live, but I always watch the replays, so I sign up for them, is these Scentsy All Consultant training calls. They happen every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, so pick your time zone there. You can register and see what the topic is going to be every single week. You can do that by going to your workstation, remember, your heart and soul of your business, okay? You're gonna go there, gonna click on training, you're gonna go down to training events, and it's going to show you all the upcoming training events that you can register for. Like I said, every Tuesday, this is gonna happen tomorrow, right? The one for tomorrow, I believe, is embracing the opportunity. It's something about sponsoring, I do know that. But I register, even though I'm not gonna watch live, I register because if you register, then Sarah Walker at home office, she will actually afterwards, she sends out an email and says, here's the link. Or if you just missed it either way, and maybe you don't get that email or you signed up with the wrong email address, whatever, you can always email Sarah. It's just swalker@scentsy.com. And you can say, hey, I missed this week's Tuesday all consultant call. Can you send me the link to the recording? And she will. It's amazing, right? We're here to help. Scentsy is there to help. So you can still watch that recording. You can watch the replay later when you have time, if it's on the weekend, if it's after work, whatever, when the kids are asleep, I don't know. But it's a really great resource, and it's just wonderful because they not only go through whatever the topic is, but they will also touch on what's happening that week, right? So like this week, for example, we had the Happiness in Bloom collection launch yesterday. I was going to say yesterday. Today. It was today. It launched today, right? So she's going to remind us of that. She's going to remind us of the join special this month. It's only $35 to join this month. All of those things. So every single week, That call is there to, again, just kind of give you an overview of what's happening in the world of Scentsy. So even if this is a hobby, you're starting to hopefully understand where I'm going with this. Okay, you can still, again, dip your toe in and know what's going on. It's just a good thing, right, to have that information. Outside of that, of course, there's other opportunities for training, for get-togethers, whether it's in person or online. You can find that here in this group. You can find it in the Scentsy Bliss group, but there's other opportunities as well on other Scentsy consultant pages, like the Think Tank Academy, right? There's one, they have weekly trainings that they do with guest speakers and all the things. There's Thursday night shift that happens. They do an amazing job with training and helping consultants no matter where you're at in your journey. Those are ones that I would highly recommend. But another really just great place to join in is also on YouTube. You'll probably get in contact with people that you can kind of relate to, and that's just a really great way to find your people. Sharing versus selling. This is a big one when it comes to my book, okay? When I, again, remember I joined as a hobby back in 2012. This was a hobby. I always said, I think it was probably for the first 3 years of my business and probably later on still, I always said, I am not a salesperson. I am never going to be the top sales in anything because I hate sales. I do. I don't like the feeling of being a salesman. I don't like it. I don't want it. It just gives me the ick and I don't like it. But here's what I found. What I found is rather than feeling like I was selling to people, I just found it so much easier to share the things that I liked in Scentsy. It sounds simple, but honestly, that's really what it boils down to. This business is, or should be, it's going to be a lot easier for you if you look at it sharing versus selling. So sharing what it is that you like versus trying to sell everything that Scentsy is offering. I have learned this over the years because for years I was forever I felt like I was playing catch up all the time because I was trying to figure out what's releasing this week. What LTOs do we have going on? Is there a join special? What happens during this incentive? I was like forever searching and feeling like the blind person in the park. I didn't know what to go after, what I was supposed to be talking about, when I was supposed to be talking about it. I had no idea. So what I did is I slowly started to find that if I just focused on the things that I was liking with Scentsy, it was so much easier to have those conversations about Scentsy. So still to this day, every time that the Scent and Warmer of the Month arrive on my doorstep, because I subscribe to the Scent and Warmer of the Month kit, just a lovely consultant exclusive that we get, right? I subscribe to that. So it gives me a really great opportunity to share my excitement of a brand new scent and a brand new warmer that Scentsy gives us every single month, regardless of any LTOs or what season it is or what promotions are happening or what incentive is going on. It's just a really great way. Because why? Because I love fragrance. I love fragrance. And if you hear anything, that's Hero chewing on a bone, so pay no attention. He has no shame. So share what it is that you like. So if you're finding yourself, again, in that place where you're like, I don't know what to focus on, there's so many things happening right now. Start to focus on the things that you personally like. And when you are talking to people, whether it's in person, whether it's online, whether it's going live on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, TikTok, right? You're going to find that it's just going to be so much easier for you to talk about something that you actually truly enjoy, rather than trying to say, hey, buy this cup. This is an amazing cup. I think it's wonderful. And it comes with a straw. It's going to be so much harder to sell that, right? If you really just don't enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you're going to talk about it. You're just going to instantly have a smile on your face. Your voice is going to probably get a little higher in pitch because you're just that excited. It's normal and it's okay. So if you're trying to figure out where to start in your business, that's where you start. Look at the things that you love and start sharing those. I'm kind of running through this list, so I'm sorry if I sound winded. It's because I'm just trying to get through it all. I've just got 2 more points. Okay, next to last, pouring into yourself. All right, this is kind of more or less geared towards those of you who are doing this as a side hustle, or I want this to be a full-time income, or I want this to be my full-time job, or I want to make X amount of money every single month from Scentsy so I can do X, Y, and Z. Okay, pour into yourself. Make time for you. In this business, in the culture that we are in, we're doing a lot of things online. Okay, and even for those you younger folk out there, okay, you younger folk, it might be easier for you. I mean, I don't consider myself old. I'm still very young at heart. But I'm going to tell you, right, like, I didn't grow up with a cell phone in my hand. Okay? I was of the generation that I was alive before the cell phones. So I obviously learn a lot because I enjoy social media, and also because I know that my business plays a really big factor on social media, because that's where I'm capturing my customers, right? I don't go from state to state looking for customers, people. They're finding me because of my social media. It's not because of me traveling to them. It's because I'm utilizing social media. And so they are finding me. So I need to learn and pour into myself on how to just get better on Instagram. That's where I honestly started, because Instagram was always like my place to be. I just loved Instagram versus Facebook. Okay, I just did. Still do to this day. But I learned how to do that. I learned how to do YouTube videos by watching a YouTube video. Okay, you need to, if you want to grow in doing this, in this Scentsy opportunity world, then you need to just challenge yourself, whether it's once a week, every other week, once a month. Challenge yourself to learn one new little thing, okay? Maybe that is doing something in Canva, making your own postcard that you can print out and mail out to your customers. Maybe it's on Instagram, learning how to go live, or learning how to have a better response in your stories, utilizing the stories in Facebook or on Instagram. Maybe it is YouTube, maybe it's TikTok, right? Take some time to look for those ways that you can kind of pour into you, because you're gonna gather all of those things and you're gonna be able to utilize those in your business. So just pick little things that you just wanna do. Like I said, challenge yourself once a week, once a month, whatever it looks like for you, and then look towards reaching that goal. Another really great way to pour into yourself too, if you're a reader, then hey, there's a ton of books out there all about not only direct sales, affiliate marketing, social media marketing, all the things, right? How to build your confidence up in just talking. Okay, that's a thing too. Again, found that out from, having to go through it. One of the best books, it's over there I was looking over here. It's over here on my bookshelf. One of the best books that I highly, highly recommend if you're a book person who wants to really just get ahead, not only in the Scentsy opportunity, but just in life in general, because it's just fantastic. It is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits is the name of the book, and the author is James Clear, C-L-E-A-R. Okay, we actually got him as a SFR keynote speaker. Was it in 2021, I think? I believe we were in Austin, Texas that year. I want to say it was in Austin, Texas that year. He came on and he talked, and I'd already read the book and I'd loved the book, but just hearing him talk was fabulous. It was fabulous. I was so inspired just by hearing him. You can follow him, of course, on social media, so on Instagram, on Facebook, even on YouTube. But the book itself, phenomenal. So if you're a book reader, totally check out Atomic Habits. It's really going to help you out. But you can also find things like that on Audible. You can find them on podcasts. All of those different resources. So again, depending on what you're into, what you kind of absorb better, then that's how you need to pour into yourself. Maybe it's watching other YouTube videos, okay? Look on YouTube. You're going to find tons of different things, okay? But I will tell you, that's how I have learned the majority of what I do in my business. That's how I continue to grow myself in my business and on social media, is just by making it a habit that once a week, because that's how I work my business. I work it literally day by day. But once a week, I have one day a week that I'm literally just pouring into myself, whether that's reading a chapter out of a book, whether that's watching a video, whether that's listening to a podcast on my way home from work, whatever. That's what we need to do. All right, last big topic here is get organized. I know some of you are like, no, Jacqui, I knew you were going to tell me this. Here's the thing. I'm not just talking about organized in like physical space, but that is also a really great place to start. Okay. So when I click that join button in 2012, I will tell you right here, right now, I didn't have a dedicated space for my office. Okay. Didn't have it. First of all, our home, we didn't have the extra space in our home at the time, okay? We were renting this, it was a duplex. It was very, very small. And I will tell you that my office, and I still have it to this day, it's sitting here in my office, but it's always there as my visual reminder. That's where I started. It's literally, it's one of those little rolling carts, right? With the little, wheels on the bottom with the 3 drawers, the plastic 3 drawer little cart. That's where my office started. Because the majority of the time I would just take like where I normally would sit at the couch, and I had that kind of catty corner to me at the couch. So when it was time for me to sit down and work my business, I just rolled my little thing up and I'd have all my testers in there, the catalogs I had. I didn't have a whole lot of bars or warmers or things like that, right? Because we don't need all of those things to run our business, but I also didn't have all of those things. And I will tell you too, that my starter kit was nothing compared to the starter kits y'all are getting now. Okay. So I didn't have a whole lot of things anyway, but that's where everything was. I would keep my notebook in there when I would take notes, when I watched a training or, whatever it was that I was doing. I had my notebook in there that I would keep because during that time, and I mean, I still do to this day, right? I've got my binder system, but that's how I follow up. That's how I know how to follow up and with who. Okay. So all of those things were literally in that 3 drawer cart, and that's just where it was. So you don't necessarily have to have a space to be organized. Just organize the space that you have to work with. Even if it's just a rolling 3 drawer cart, that's where you need to be. Meet yourself where you're at. Don't try to emulate everything that you're seeing on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else, because we don't play the comparison game here. We don't do that. All that's going to do is it's going to completely get yourself stuck in your head. You're going to feel like you are trying to compare yourself to what everybody else is doing and the successes that you see other people having. And all you're going to do is be like, oh, I'm failing. I'm not measuring up. And that's not good. That is not good. And that's not where you need to be. There is no comparison in this business. It is you versus you. Every single day, every single week, every single month. You versus you. So kick the comparison out. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you want out of this business, what you're aiming to do, and do it. Do it. And challenge yourself rather than comparing yourself to where everybody else is. So getting organized can be just as simple as that. I also want you to get a little bit organized in, maybe it's a planner or a notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. Okay. It can be as simple as a notebook, but have that spot where you're writing down whatever you're, again, if this is more of a side hustle, I want to make X amount of money per month, whatever, right? I want this to be my full-time job. You need to set yourself some goals. Because if you are not setting goals, then you're just running a race, right? You're literally like just doing laps around the track, okay? We are conditioned as humans to kind of run for the carrot, okay? So even if that carrot is, I just want to be active this month. Awesome. Get active. What are you going to do to get active this month? And that's what you need to focus on. That's your carrot, okay? Maybe as you get along, or maybe you're just jumping out of the gate and you're just like so excited, you're jumping in and you're like, okay, I want to start earning. I want to earn the Shooting Star Award. I want to earn Sensational Start. I want to earn the monthly sales award. I want all of these things, right? Then there's your carrot. But you at least know where you're going. Get yourself organized so you know where it is that you're running towards. It's going to help you out. Now, another piece of that is, when are you going to work? It sounds simple, and it maybe even sounds very silly to ask. When am I going to work? Well, duh, I'm going to work when I need to work, Jacqui. Here's the thing, okay? I work full-time outside of the home. I work 40 plus hours a week. The first thing that I do, the very first hour after I get home from work, is spent here in my office. That is my one non-negotiable in my business, unless there's something that is happening that I need to get to after work, and then it's an hour after that, okay? But you get my point, right? It is spending 1 hour every single day, and I focus that 1 hour on whatever it is that I need to focus on, because I'm organized and I plan and I know what I'm going to be working on that day. So I will tell you from experience, that's what keeps me consistent in my business. That's what helps me to stay on track, not only with my goals, but with helping my team, with figuring out what's coming up with my customers, with follow-ups, with all of the things. That is what it is there to do. So figure out around your life, when is it going to be the most optimal time for you to work? Are you like me? Are you like me where you work during the day or at night, whatever, and you're like, okay, I will dedicate 30 minutes after I get off work or whatever to doing some Scentsy, whatever it is. Maybe you're just extremely busy throughout the week, or this is something where you don't want to spend a whole lot of time. Maybe that looks like 30 minutes a week. Maybe that's 30 minutes every Sunday morning. It's kind of like going to the gym, right? The gym is always there. Your Scentsy opportunity, your Scentsy is always there. But when are you going to actually go to it and sit down and do something with it? When are you going to go to the gym and get on that Stairmaster, right? When are you going to do it? Make it non-negotiable. And when you start doing that, you're going to see how this business is going to start growing for you. It just is. Finally, that's the when, that's the how, that's the goals, that's all of that. But the why. Why are you going to do this? Again, maybe it's just something as, I just want to have something so I can have some spending money, or I want to be able to have a Christmas fund that I don't have to reach out of my pocket for every holiday, right? So I want to make a little bit of money every single month that I can just kind of chunk away in that savings account or checking account, whatever. Maybe you want to work towards a vacation for your family. Maybe you are trying to get that car payment taken care of. Maybe you're trying to just start saving money. Maybe you're doing this for something even greater than that. Maybe. Like I said, I joined because I just simply loved the product. I loved wax and warmers, and that was it. We didn't really have all the cleaning stuff then anyway. We had room spray, but we didn't have the cleaning line or the laundry line or the body line or none of that. We had none of that, okay? I joined for the wax and the warmers. I just simply loved fragrance. I loved the product. I just loved Scentsy. That is why I joined. I didn't have a goal. I didn't have anything else that I was doing it for. And so what happened, I really didn't do anything with the business, like hardly nothing. And I'm not lying when I say this. I did hardly nothing. I did not get Shooting Star. I did not get Sensational Start. It took me a hot minute just to get to certified. I did nothing because I really didn't have anything that I was like, oh, this is important to me because blah, blah, blah. I didn't have that. But when I did have that, it was about a year, maybe a little over a year into me being a consultant, that my husband and I were like, oh my gosh, we have got to get a new car. Our car was crapping out on us. And we were like, shoot, how in the world are we going to be able to afford a car payment? That's when I was like, hey, I got this Scentsy thing sitting over here that I've just kind of been playing with. I know that if I kind of do something with it, I can actually make some money with it. So maybe I'm going to try and do that. And that quickly became why I started making time for my Scentsy. That became why I started putting in more effort. That became why I started to watch some videos on how to do this and how to do that and all the things. And all that did was simply continue to grow and grow and grow and grow to where I am now. I'm a star freaking director, y'all. I started because I just liked wax and warmers. That was it. No big dream, no big goal. That was it. And little did I know how much it would be able to give me and my family. Now, my Scentsy pays for the roof. It pays the house payment every single month. Not because I just let it sit there and I didn't really pay attention to what was happening every single month and I didn't really do anything with it and I just kind of paid attention to what was going on. No, because I started making it a non-negotiable and I started doing these things that I just talked to you all about. That's how I got to where I am. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a month. And even when I first got there, I realized very quickly, oh, I got there. I got the money I needed for the car payment. And then it became more, right? It became making the car payment and paying for the insurance. And then it became, hey, I need to be able to make the car payment and the electric bill and the insurance. I just started, hey, I can make it work for all of these different things. And then I realized I needed to be consistent and I needed to do the same things I was doing that month, the next month, and then the month after that, and the month after that. Is it dedication? Yeah. But does it pay off for me? Yeah. And I'm not saying pay off and like paying off, right? But it literally fills that means for me and my family. So is it important to me? Heck yeah, it is. It is extremely important for me to do this business and to make sure that I'm following up with my customers and letting them know what's happening, what LTOs are coming out, what the brand new catalog has in it, right? Why? Because I have something that I'm working towards every single month. And that is a non-negotiable. That is how you're able to make this Scentsy opportunity do what you want it to do. And when I say it is solely dependent on what you want and what you want to put into this whole opportunity, it truly is that, because it can be just that for you, whatever it is. Maybe it's like me. Maybe it's you want to get to the point to where it's taking care of your house payment. Maybe you just want it for that spending money. Whatever it is, tailor this business, tailor this opportunity to what you want out of it, and then just make the decision to go for it. Make the decision for you, not for anybody else. That's what is most important. So you just joined Scentsy. So now what? What are you going to do? Now you have all of this laid out before you. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you want to share this with your team members, if you're trying to just connect with other people, feel free to share this with them as well. I hope that you realize that you are capable of anything you set your mind to. I decided last year that I was going to finish my RN degree. I'm a grandma, okay? I'm not the spring chicken, but when I set my mind to doing something, I'm going to do it. The same thing with this Scentsy opportunity. If you set your mind to doing something that you want to do, or you want it to accomplish something for you, you can make it happen. So decide what you want to do. That's your now what. Decide. And then you need to take the action, like we've talked about, and make it happen. I want that for each and every one of you listening to this right now. All right, guys, that's what I've got for you this week. Next week, whole new topic. I'm going to be switching it around. We're going to be going and we're going to be diving into my computer, and I'm going to be showing you some hands-on things for your business. So make sure you tune in for next week. Talk to you later. Bye. Maybe bye. I don't know.